Hey, good morning. I'm Patricia Murphy. It's Tuesday. This is Seattle Now. Seattle's newest pro sports team will take to the ice for the first time this Friday, the Seattle Torrent of the Professional Women's Hockey League.
Torrent is water, but also a torrent of rain, and we all know what that can do. That's strong. This is a torrent. Let's go.
Coming up, we'll talk with Paige Browning about what to expect in their very first season and why women's sports are taking off in Seattle. But first, let's get you caught up. You better keep an eye out if you're parking in these areas of Seattle. The Seattle Times took a look at the nearly 650,000 parking tickets from the last 2 years. They found that of the top 5 areas, 3 are in or close to popular parks: Golden Gardens, Magnuson, and Seward. The other 2 are close to big bodies of water, just south of Lake Union and close to Portage Bay. The Times also found that the busiest ticket writing days are Tuesday through Friday. Wednesday is the busiest, so maybe take public transit that day. The state rule that keeps medical debt from showing up on credit reports appears to be on shaky ground. The Washington State Standard reports that the Trump administration now says federal law should take priority over the state policy. The shift makes it easier for opponents to challenge Washington's policy, which is meant to lower barriers to getting medical care. More than a dozen states have similar laws, including California, New York, and Illinois. And the former Alaska Airlines pilot who tried to shut down a plane's engines mid-flight was federally sentenced yesterday. Joseph Emerson was sentenced to 5 years of probation and 50 days in jail. He was credited with time served. Emerson told CBS News he takes full responsibility for what happened and that he experienced a sense of all-out panic and fear on the flight from Everett to San Francisco. Check back for more headlines on tonight's episode of Seattle Now. This Friday, the Seattle Torrent will hit the ice for the first ever regular season game. The Professional Women's Hockey League expanded this season to Seattle, which stands now as only the second metro area in the U.S. with pro women's teams in hockey, soccer, and basketball. Seattle Now host Paige Browning is here to talk about the Torrent and what to expect during this inaugural season. Hey, Paige, good to see you.
Hey, Trish. How are your skills on the ice?
Well, I ice skate, but I wouldn't try to score any goals.
No, okay. Me neither. I'm a pond ice skater. That's about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start with this league, the PWHL. Sounds cool. How long have they been around?
Okay, Trish, if you love getting in on trends early, you're going to love this.
All right.
This league is only entering their 3rd season ever.
Okay.
So they're very new. The PWHL was founded in 2023. On the men's side, of course, this sport's been active a little bit longer.
Yeah.
The NHL was founded in 1917.
Okay.
But, women have been skating for just as long as men.
And I say playing hockey probably too.
Probably playing hockey on ponds or rinks or wherever. But rarely before have people been able to cheer on a professional women's hockey team at this level.
All right.
So it's very new. There are 8 teams now. Seattle and Vancouver are the latest expansion teams. They've yet to have a game, and they're the first teams on the West Coast. And Trish, I have a feeling that you'd want to know about the rules. Is this a good place where I can?
Yeah, let's try.
Because this is kind of fun on the rules side. The PWHL and NHL rules are mostly the same, but PWHL has a jailbreak rule. So if one of your players gets sent to the penalty box and you're down players, if you're able to score while they're in the penalty box, you break them free.
I love this.
Yeah, so it's really fun.
The newly named Seattle Torrent will begin their season this week. Break it down for us. Give us the nuts and bolts of where they'll play and when fans can see them.
Okay, this Friday is the team's first ever regular season game. It's up in Vancouver, an away game against the Golden Eyes. They're kind of our pre-baked in rival team. And these past few weeks, they've actually been going back and forth between here and Vancouver playing the Golden Eyes. The home ice is Climate Pledge Arena.
All right.
And their home opener is Black Friday, November 28th against the Minnesota Frost. And they'll be playing regular season games all the way till like the end of April, about 30 games total.
All right, 30 games. The team just got their name, colors, and logo. There was a little bit of a party, Paige. Mm-hmm. You attended. How was the reaction?
Oh, it was such a party. But honestly, I think it's a little bit better to hear from fans than me on this one. I talked to a gaggle of diehard women's hockey fans at this announcement this month. These 4 friends all play recreational adult hockey, and one of them was part of this effort to draw a pro hockey team to Seattle. Here's what they had to say about the name in the minutes after the Torrent was announced.
I think the Torrent is a great name. It really identifies us as coming from the Pacific Northwest. The rain, the weather, it's a great name.
Very happy. I think it's a great chant. Got to chant it for the first time. Let's go Torrent. I think it's a good one. I like it.
Yeah, it's got a good rush vibe to it. It has speed and impact. Awesome name.
And I love this sort of aquatic wave theme because I think it's really easy to do cool styling around.
Yeah, I mean, they're psyched. For me, the name's going to take a little bit of time to set in, but I do love their tagline, forged by nature, unstoppable by will. It's kind of metal.
It is kind of metal. Forged by nature, unstoppable by will. I like what you said, though. Sometimes maybe the team needs to grow into the name, Paige.
Yeah, exactly. And you might have seen there were some early critiques. Mm-hmm. So the name and logo actually got leaked early by someone on the Torrent staff, but that allowed it to circulate online. And people on Reddit, at least, were kind of ripping it up as not very exciting. A few people were going, torrent? Isn't that mostly used to describe the legally ambiguous practice of sharing videos and music online? And a lot of people wanted the name the Sirens, but that's already taken by the New York Sirens.
And honestly, let's be real about a team name. The Boston Red Sox are named after socks. I can't imagine how that one went down.
Yeah, exactly. And the real ones, the real fans who are already season ticket holders, they love it. And they like that it syncs with our other teams here. Mm-hmm, the Rain, the Storm, the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Seawolves. It's all in one family.
Yeah. Before we get too far along here, Paige, we should talk about Hillary Knight.
Ooh, yeah.
Who's considered one of the best women's hockey players in the world. She's on the Torrent. Tell us more about her and how she ended up here in Seattle.
Yeah, if you're new to this sport, this is a name you kind of have to know. So there's Sue Bird in the WNBA. There's, Mia Hamm and Abby Wambach in women's soccer. In hockey, it's Hillary Knight. So she has 4 Olympic medals, 1 in gold. She actually grew up in the Northwest, Sun Valley, Idaho, started skating at age 2.
Okay.
She has college titles, she has national titles, and she was part of the inaugural PWHL season. Getting her is huge because wherever she plays, people watch. And I will say we got her because she was playing for Boston, and Boston made the hard decision to protect their younger players from being drafted for the future of their team.
Does this mean the Torrent have a chance to be successful right out of the gate?
It's an interesting question. No one really expects a brand new team to do great, but this could change things for the Torrent. It puts us in a really good position. I will say we've played 2 practice games against the Golden Eyes. We lost 1. We won 1. We'll see how we do. But a possible con with Hillary Knight is she has commitments for USA Hockey. She has for years. So she could get pulled away when she has games with the U.S. team.
And right now, the PWHL is a fairly small league with just 8 teams. Why did Seattle even get picked for an expansion team?
There are so many people here that love hockey. And a simple reason is people have been asking for it in a really organized way. I chatted with Rachel Moody for this story, and she's in a club that's been trying for years to attract a women's pro team here. In fact, they've had a campaign longer than the PWHL has been a league.
Gosh, well, so kind of the official campaign is my earrings here, the Women's Pro Hockey Seattle. That was founded by Zoe Harris maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So, no, it's so cool to see this being a reality now.
And as Rachel said, the Seattle Women's Hockey Club, it's a whole organization that's been dedicated to getting a team here. And when the league wanted to expand, they started looking around. They actually took some games on tour. And they came to Seattle, and it was berserk.
Really?
If you want to know what games will sound like here, I have a little sample of that game before we even had a team.
All right, that tells a story.
You love that foghorn. So it was kind of a natural fit. There's just a culture here that was really inviting to the sport.
Yeah. So this team already has a fan base.
Yeah, because there was this club saying, bring us a team. And about 150 people are already committed to driving up to Vancouver this week for the inaugural game. Rachel is helping organize a tour bus. And I asked her why.
Why not? We got a section, so it's going to be this whole section of Seattle fans, and just because we can. I mean, we've waited forever to get a pro women's team. Like, why not?
People who follow other pro sports, though, might be surprised to learn about the model of this league. So let's tell listeners how it's different.
Yeah, there's really one thing to know here, and that is that the teams are all under the same ownership. It's not like the NHL, where the Kraken are owned by Seattle Hockey Partners and other teams are owned by someone else. WNBA is this way. The Storm is owned by Force 10 Hoops with investors like Sue Bird. Other teams are separate. The PWHL, all the teams are owned by the Walter Group. For baseball fans, like our editor, Mark Walter owns the Los Angeles Dodgers, too. So he and his family are the league's financial backers. They own every single team. I do want to add one thing. The Torrent and Kraken are related in the sense that they're going to share the ice. They're going to share Climate Pledge Arena and the Kraken Community Iceplex for practices. But as far as ownership, it's a really unique model.
Okay. Pro women's hockey has been tried before, Paige. Is the PWHL likely to be more successful?
That's the $1 million question, or probably more than $1 million.
Right, at this
I don't
point.
know. Yeah, there have been attempts to do pro women's hockey since the 90s.
Yeah.
They have come and gone, tried and failed. But the ownership model alone is something people are pointing to as a possible reason this could stick, because they're all buoyed by the same ship. So there's less risk of one team sinking and taking down the entire league. And there's also just a huge rise in interest for women's sports right now.
Let's talk about that, because as I mentioned at the top, Seattle's now in a very exclusive club. As a city that has women's pro sports in hockey, soccer, and basketball, the only other metro that does is New York, New Jersey.
Right.
Why has women's sports taken off the way it has?
This is such a women's sports city. I mean, it really has become that. We have in Seattle really embraced the women's side of sports. We have all the teams, as you mentioned. We were one of the first cities in the U.S. to have a sports bar focused on playing women's games. Now we have 3 women's sports bars. There's actually a lot of partnership between them. There's this whole culture around it. Like, you'll go to Rough and Tumble Pub and they'll be having an event with local college athletes or, one of the local teams. It's this community that's being built. I mean, most times that I'm out and about in the city, I see people wearing those Everyone Watches Women's Sports shirts. And the team and the league have noticed that. Their general manager is Megan Turner. And she's actually talked about this several times this month, saying, we see you fans. This is all about you. We're buoyed by you. And she said something like, if the takeover tour was any indication, Climate Pledge is going to be buzzing.
All right. Well, I'm going to get a hold of my Seattle Torrent foam finger. KUOW Seattle Now News Maven Paige Browning. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Trish.
Really appreciate you listening to the show. Thanks to our generous donors for your support. You can help us out by clicking the link in the show notes and following and rating the show on your podcast app. Today's episode was produced by Andy Hurst. It was edited by Caroline Chamberlain Gomez. Our production team also includes Vaughn Jones, Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers, and Paige Browning. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you soon.